So check it out. Here's another project that I finally got around to work on. It's a Marx Sound O Power tender with a bad board. I replaced the capacitors in the board, still didn't make it work right. I think there's a bad transistor by the sounds of it. And so I decided to put a Lionel early Sound of Steam board in it. This Sound of Steam board came out of the Silver Star set, the Pennsylvania tender. I usually look for those at train shows. If I can find them cheap enough, then I'll take a chance that you never know if the board's good or not, but usually they are, and you can just swap out the three large capacitors. Usually if you replace those, they'll work. So here's the early board. You can recognize an early board. It has a round top transistors in it, and it'll also have big capacitors. They'll be gold colored with no markings on them. So I have a video that shows how to replace those capacitors you can check out. And then to wire it, the white wire and the yellow wire go to the speakers. The red wire goes to the actuator wheel, and then the green wire goes to ground. And then Lionel later on put a little bit better components in them, a little bit better capacitors. This is this one came out of a Chesapeake Flyer. I replaced the larger capacitor with a smaller, newer one. But other than that, these aren't quite as loud though. That's why I like those early Sound of Steam ones. And once you get them in there, they sound pretty good actually in the Marx tender. I think they sound better. I don't know if it's because the maybe a larger, different value resistor that Marx used in their actuator wheel or what. So I've got it hooked up to a 333, and I've got my Emmanuel Express cars. Thought I'd take it for a spin. Also, I visited the Dollar Tree. They've got some really nice, and they're O-scale and size figures for your Christmas layout. I've gotten a whole bunch of them. I see carolers and sleds, and I see a one-horse open sleigh, and some Santas and snowmen. So we'll take this for a spin. You can check it out. Here we go. Got a recently repaired 333 on point. The one with a smoke unit. Sound of Steam board sounds pretty good in that Marx tender. And because the Sound of Power tenders are kind of hard to come by, especially boards, the Sound of Steam boards are pretty plentiful. You can either find them at train shows or on eBay. I won't pay more than like $5 or $10 for one because you're taking a chance on whether the board, there's no guarantee the board's good in it, but like I said, usually when you replace the capacitors, you can get those boards to work. Turn the camera a little bit so you can see more of the train. Tender sounds really good though, and I love the early electronic Sound of Steam, whether Marx or Lionel. I like the Marx better because I think it has a better chuff to it. And the Sound of Power tenders, you can hook them up in any steamer because they're independent of the engine. The only problem is that Marx only made them with gray shells, but you can use some of the other Marx slope back tender shells and just drill holes where the speaker is mounted, and you can get them in there with different road names. And we'll follow the train around, why not? Try slowing it down here a little bit. Really like my observation car with that rear trailing light. Really makes it look sharp. Okay, we'll set the camera back down. All right, got it sounding really good. It looks like the 333 is working really good as well. So if you have a Sound O Power tender and the board goes bad, look around for Lionel ones. There's a lot of them out there, and you can usually pick them up pretty reasonable if you're patient. And like I said, just replace those 3 capacitors. There's my videos on YouTube. There's also other people that put videos on how to replace the capacitors. So thanks again for watching. God bless. Never forget, Jesus is Lord.